What once felt predictable about Florida's weather now changes with every passing year. Christmas in Florida used to bring the image of a tropical beach Santa, warm sun, and gentle waves. But now, even here in the Sunshine State, winters are becoming colder and more unpredictable. A striking reminder that climate change isn't just about rising temperatures. These shifts affect our communities, ecosystems, and daily lives in ways we are only just beginning to understand. Most recently, during the spring semester, I was able to see snow for the very first time. I never even had to leave the state for it. It was shocking to believe that actual snowfall swept the panhandle and graced us with a new record of 8.9 inches of snow. Climate change is no longer a distant threat of the past. It's happening now, reshaping our environment in ways we never imagined. I never expected to see snowfall in my home state of Sunshine, yet it still happened. And while unusual winters in Florida may feel surprising, the effects of climate change are far more dire for animals living in colder climates, especially polar bears. They are one of the first species officially recognized as endangered due to the dramatic loss of their sea ice habitat. Not only has climate change reduced the ice that they rely on for hunting seals, but it has also caused declining populations and is reducing their chances of survival. Their habitat is disappearing before our very eyes. Scientists predict that if current trends continue, polar bears could face near extinction within this century. Human activity is a major driver of this crisis. The survival of polar bears is linked directly to human-caused greenhouse gas emissions. Yet, despite their endangered status under the ESA, legal loopholes have historically blocked the inclusion of climate impacts from specific projects. Although polar bears were listed under the Endangered Species Act in 2008, the Department of the Interior stated that emissions from a single project couldn't be separated from global emissions, which prevented many harmful projects from being evaluated for their impact on polar bears. This legal gap allowed fossil fuel companies and industrial activities to continue expanding in ways that destroy critical Arctic habitats. Companies like ExxonMobil, Chevron, and ConocoPhillips, along with projects like the Willow Oil and Gas development in Alaska, have contributed heavily to the greenhouse gas emissions that accelerate Arctic ice melt. Defenders of wildlife report that the Willow project alone would significantly endanger polar bear populations by increasing emissions and further disrupting their already shrinking habitat. These activities aren't abstract, they have measurable effects. A study by Polar Bear International has, for the very first time, quantified how emissions from specific projects reduce polar bear cub survival rates and extend ice-free periods that make hunting impossible. With this record and data alone, we can see how each ton of CO2 emitted pushes these animals closer to extinction. Chevron alone is responsible for 52,797 million tons of CO2. ExxonMobil is not too far behind with 49,537 million tons of global CO2 emission. These emissions specifically contribute to significant loss and fragmentation of sea ice habitats. Habitats that in turn polar bears rely on for hunting, living, and breeding. Not only are these habitats used by polar bears, but they themselves are inhabited by plankton and microorganisms that support a rich food chain for several animals. Without these sea ice habitats, they are forced to swim longer distances or spend more time on land to search for food. Research shows that increasing greenhouse gas emissions directly reduce cub survival, with current emission trends causing a 3 to 4% drop in cub survival rates. The western Hudson Bay polar bears have already experienced a 50% population decline over the last 4 decades, a collapse linked directly to shrinking seasonal ice. The crisis facing polar bears is a reminder that climate change is not just an abstract problem. It is a direct result of human choices, and it demands human solutions. While major fossil fuel companies drive much of the damage, everyday people still hold real power to influence change. So what can we do? You can definitely start by staying informed and supporting organizations actively fighting for Arctic conservation, such as Polar Bears International, Defenders of Wildlife, NRDC, or WWF. Speaking up also matters. Use it to contact local representatives that are supporting policies that restrict oil drilling projects like Willow and are advocating for renewable energy. Even something simple as sharing factual information on social media helps raise awareness and motivates others to care. Protecting polar bears begins with acknowledging our role in the problem and choosing to act. Because every decision, every vote, and every voice contributes to the global effort to slow climate change and preserve the Arctic before it's too late.